Trudeau bans TikTok, why Hershey is being boycotted, the crazy international trafficking discovery in Toronto, and so much more. Welcome to 6 Minutes, the show that keeps you up to date with the 6 in minutes. I'm your host, Georgie. Let's get ready to these stories. Trudeau announced this week that he will be banning TikTok on government devices.
Like many countries around the world, we're looking carefully at how to ensure Canadians are kept safe online. And we're making the decision that for government employees, for government equipment, it is better to not have them access TikTok because of the concerns that people have in terms of safety.
This prompted lawmakers from both the Liberals and the Conservatives to go even further by suspending their accounts on TikTok. Jagmeet Singh, who has used TikTok to post videos of his political plans and his family, deactivated his account with more than 800,000 followers. Poilievre's account was also deactivated this week alongside that of his entire caucus, which had garnered around 200,000 followers. TikTok, owned by Chinese firm ByteDance, is facing a growing backlash from Western governments worried about whether China's government could gather user data to advance its political and economic interests. China has repeatedly denied any such intentions. TikTok has also complained about the Canadian ban, saying it was issued without citing any specific security concern or contacting us. How do you feel about the TikTok ban? Are you guys surprised by this? I would love to hear it in the comment section down below. York Regional Police and the Canadian Border Services uncovered a massive trafficking ring after being tipped off by one Mexican national. The investigation rescued 64 Mexican migrants exploited by an international labor trafficking ring in the Toronto area. Of the 64 migrants, 53 of them agreed to speak out against their employer despite fears of deportation. The individuals shared stories of bug-infested mattresses on the floor, lack of food and privacy, some even victims of essay. 5 individuals have been arrested, 2 Canadian citizens and 3 Mexican citizens. Police have yet to give the names of the employers involved, as the Ministry of Labor investigation is still ongoing. Why is Boycott Hershey trending? In honor of International Women's Day, Hershey has been promoting their Her for She campaign. Hershey states, this year's Her for She initiative spotlights 5 Canadian women that are working to build a better future through their passion, activism, and work in their communities. One of these individuals is trans woman and trans activist Faye Johnstone. This post by Patriot Barbie pretty much sums up the outrage that this campaign is receiving.
I'm sorry. Did you just let a man represent women on National Women's Day? The biggest slap in the face to women I've ever seen in my life. I probably will ever see in my life. Live as your true and authentic self is a man.
Hershey has responded to the backlash, saying that the campaign recognizes the strength and diversity. I would love to hear your opinion on this campaign. You still eating Kit Kats? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Trudeau calls those worried about the Chinese interference in Canadian elections racist.
One of the things we've seen, unfortunately, over the past years is a rise in anti-Asian racism linked to the pandemic, and concerns being arisen around people's loyalties. I want to make everyone understand fully that Han Dong is an outstanding member of our team, and suggestions that he is somehow not loyal to Canada should not be entertained.
The Trudeau government continues to resist calls for inquiry into the confirmed meddling despite the Conservatives, the NDP, the Bloc, and tons of Canadians calling for a private investigation. Many, including ex-RCMP Deputy Commissioner Pierre-Yves Bourdois, are surprised by the lack of action taken by the government and agree that a Foreign Agents Registration Act is likely on the horizon.
I am not surprised the least bit. What I'm surprised, though, is the lack of action currently with regards to legislation that would prevent these types of activity to take place. So therefore, to provide sufficient tool to law enforcement agencies in order to be able to put a stop to some of these, in my opinion, illegal activities.
The controversial Christine Anderson caused quite the stir during her visit to Canada. Most Canadians know Christine for her speech during an EU parliamentary meeting roasting Trudeau for his invocation of the Emergency Act.
It would have been more appropriate for Mr. Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, to address this House according to Article 144, an article which was specifically designed to debate violations of human rights, democracy, and the rule of law, which is clearly the case with Mr. Trudeau. Then again, a Prime Minister who openly admires the Chinese basic dictatorship, who tramples on fundamental rights by persecuting and criminalizing his own citizens as as terrorists just because they dared to stand up to his perverted concept of democracy should not be allowed to speak in this House at all. Mr. Trudeau, you are a disgrace for any democracy. Please spare us your presence. Thank you.
During her visit, members of the Conservative Party attended one of her sold-out events, causing both Justin Trudeau and Pierre Poilievre to condemn these Conservative members. Many expected this from Trudeau, but saw this as Poilievre trying to shut down free speech, which turned off many of his supporters. Christine is a member of the Alternative for Germany party, a party known for its opposition of the European Union, as well as tough on immigration in Germany. She had this to say about Poilievre condemning his Conservative counterparts.
Like I said, I feel very sorry that he feels that way. But no one gets to define me, and not even Mr. Poilievre. You do not get to define me. I know what I stand for. I know what I fight for. Are you even worth the votes that you have been getting in the past? And I highly doubt that at this point.
What is your take on Christine Anderson? I would love to hear it down in the comment section below. New music this week, on February 24th, City and Colour released F'd It Up. Check this one out.
Turn off the lights and roll down the window shades. We can't go outside, cause the world is hidden away.
On February 26th, Doobie dropped Till the Sun's Up. Check this one out.
Who take the real risk? Yeah, fuck all that shit we went through. How you go cross the line, look how much pain we been through. Gamble with my dude, they knock little boy on his shoes. A gangster never lie when they tell you cash rules. Too many guns in front of me, what the fuck?
And on March 3rd, Give My Remains to Broadway dropped the video for Access Revoked. Check this one out. All music heard in these episodes can be found in the Showcase Toronto Spotify playlist. The Weeknd was turning heads and breaking records this week. Rolling Stones released an article criticizing The Weeknd in an article titled The Idol, How HBO's Next Euphoria Became Twisted Torture Porn. The Idol, starring Lily Rose Depp, Dan Levy, and The Weeknd, is being heavily criticized by 13 members of the show's cast and crew that are speaking out. Rolling Stone states that since the new director has stepped in, it has become disturbingly sexual and physically violent. The Scarborough native, who was executive producing the project, clapped back by tweeting this, including this snippet from the show remarking about Rolling Stones' irrelevancy.
So, Rolling Stone came back to us about a cover, and I think it's worth pursuing.
Rolling Stone? Are they a little irrelevant?
It's a cover. It's a heritage brand. I think it's fail-safe.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it might be kind of past its prime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nobody cares about Rolling Stone.
Well, I know a few writers over there that I think would handle whatever we want to do with them in a really careful way, which I think is important at this point.
Rolling Stone has 6 million followers on Instagram. Half of them probably bots.
Well, I don't know about that.
And Jocelyn has 78 million followers.
I am aware of her follower count.
All real, I'd assume. So she does a photo shoot, she tags them, they get her followers, more money for Rolling Stone, nothing for Jocelyn.
There's a lot for Jocelyn.
Not on Rolling Stone.
It looks like Rolling Stones may actually have been offended by this, as one of their writers posted this now deleted tweet. This is all coming after news that The Weeknd has become the first artist in Spotify history to hit 100 million monthly listeners, breaking his own record of 95 million in January. The Idol, The Weeknd's directorial debut, is expected to premiere June 2023. And that's it for this episode of 6 Minutes. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to tune into next week's episode. One love.